Cyber Dragon K9 has made me love playing Master Duel again, and I really mean that. This deck has been keeping up with even Vanquish Soul K9. I made it into Diamond with this deck, halfway through Diamond with this deck. If I reach Master, I might actually try laddering with Cosmo K9, and if you want to see me do that, Twitch TV/Sirlard Gaming. And let's kick off the deck profile with Cyber Dragon Hers. Uh, so you can only use each of its effects once, and only one of them once per turn. So you only use one of these effects per turn, not both. And this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it is on the field or in the graveyard. So if it's special summoned, you can make it become level 5, and it locks you into machine type monsters. You can't special summon for the rest of the turn except machines. So remember that, it is an important restriction. And the other effect, which is the one we actually use, is if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add one other Cyber Dragon from your deck to your hand. So it gets us a free Cyber Dragon. Also, it's level 1, which that can be fun. Cyber Dragon Nashter becomes Cyber Dragon while it's in the field or in the graveyard. You can discard one other monster. Remember, it has to be a monster. This is what I do whenever I have a dead Fluus in hand, is I pitch it for Nashter most of the time. Discard one other monster. Special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one machine monster with 2100 attack or defense in your graveyard and special summon it. You cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except machine type monsters. Remember that. If you're going to Nashter, do it last because it locks you into machines. 1 Maxi because it's still at 1. I feel like this card should be at 2 or should be at 0. I feel like 3 and 1 are bad for it. Tommy, if you're going to get rid of it, just get rid of it. But for now, we have the 1 Maxi. Cyber Dragon Core. You want 3 of this. This is probably one of the best cards in the deck, for at least the Cyber Dragon part of the deck. Its name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. If it's normal summoned, you can add a Cyber Dragon spell or trap from your deck to your hand. This is the effect you're going to use pretty much every time. The secondary effects you don't really resolve much, but I'll read it anyway. If only your opponent controls a monster, and this is during your turn, this is not a quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. You won't do that very often. 3 Ash, because Ash is still really good. Even with C at 1, it stops other things, stops your opponent searching cards. It's still decent. 3 Cyberdark Claw. So you're pretty much just going to use the discard effect of it, but I'm going to read the entire thing anyway. If this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can target one Cyber Dark monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You'll never use that. And then the next effect, which is you can only use each of the following effects of Cyber Dark Claw once per turn. You can discard this card, add a Cyber Dark spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And then during damage calculation, if a monster battled with this, equipped with this card battles, you can send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Again, the only thing you're going to use is the discard to add the spell or trap. This is your Cyber Dark spell or trap. This is what you will add, and we will go over that in just a moment. Cyber Dark Chimera, you can discard a spell or trap and add one Power Bond from your deck to your hand. You can use Dragon or Machine Cyber monsters as fusion material this turn. Once you fusion summon, you also banish those monsters from your graveyard as material. So that's really weirdly worded, but basically it means you can banish when you activate a fusion card like Power Bond. So you can actually fuse from grave and just banish them. If this card's sent to the graveyard, you can send a Cyber Dark monster from your deck to the graveyard with a different name from the cards in your graveyard. You can only use each of the Cyber Dark Chimera effects once per turn. It's alright. I mainly just have this in there because you can search it because sometimes you actually do need to fuse. It's alright. 3 Fluos, with C being at 1, you definitely want something for going second. You can always pitch this with Nashter if you dead draw it. Cyber Dragon, if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you didn't know what this does, it's probably not the deck profile for you. Cyber Dragon, I'm just going to call him Jor, because I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Cyber Dragon Jor cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by card effect. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, then take 1 Cyber Dragon from your deck and special summon it, or equip it to as an equip spell. And you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn, except for machine monsters. So if you're going to play this, you're probably not going to be using the K9 part of your deck. But if you do play this, or if you do this last, well, actually you want to, yeah, you can do it actually, because it's just if your opponent controls a monster. So even if you already boarded something, you could still do this, but you would want to do this last because of the restriction. But this basically just gives you a free infinity. That's what it does. It beams out Cyber Dragon from your deck. You go into a Nova, you go into infinity. Cyber Dark Worm, which by the way, Cyber Dragon, Cyber Jor, and Cyber Dark Worm, all level 5 monsters. Just works great with the K9 part of your deck. This card name becomes Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. If this card is in your hand or graveyard and you have another machine cyber monster in your field or graveyard, you can send 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to the... Sorry, you can send 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Just so you can send... Typically, if I'm playing this first, I'll send hers, and then I'll use hers effect, and then I'll have hers grab Cyber Dragon. So that's just really good utility with this. And this is addable off this, which is addable off discarding Claw. So you can pretty much always get this card if you need it. If it's in your hand or graveyard and you have a cyber machine cyber monster on your field or in the graveyard, you can send a Cyber Dragon monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Special summon this card, then you can add 1 cyber spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand. So it also lets you recur Realm, and you're saying, well, why would I want to recur Realm? I'll get to that later. It involves this guy. So you can add the cyber spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use this effect of Cyber Dark Worm once per turn. This card is very good for the deck. Next we have 1 Azuna. It's our first K9 monster. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in their hand, you can normal summon this card without tributing. You can only use each of the following effects of Azuna once per turn. During the main phase, if your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send 1 K9 card from your deck to the graveyard except Azuna. I typically just run 1 of her. You could run 2 and cut something else if you wanted to. I feel like 1's the correct amount. K9 66A Jakul. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in their hand, you can normal summon this card without tributing. You can also only use each of the following effects of Jakul once per turn. So you can reveal this card and 1 other level 5 monster in your hand, like Cyber Dragon or Worm or any of the K9s or Cyber Dragon Jor. You can special summon both of them, but they cannot be used as material for the XYZ summon of a light monster. So that's the only thing that hurts, is you can't go into infinity off this, but it's a small price to pay. During your main phase, you can add 1 non-Aqua K9 monster from your deck to your hand. So typically I'll do Azuna, and then I'll summon Azuna, and then with Azuna we'll send Lupus, but we'll get into that in the video. That brings us next to Lantern. If your opponent has 2 or more cards in their hand, you can normal summon without tributing, like your other K9s. You can only use each effects of K966B Lantern once per turn. If this card is in your hand, you can target one level 5 non-pyro, so basically anything that is not a pyro K9 monster in your graveyard, special summon it and this card. They can't be used as material for the XYZ of a light monster. So can't go into infinity with this either, unfortunately. During your main phase, you can add one K9 spell or trap for your deck to your hand, which most of the time you'll go for this or this. If you've already done most of your combo or gotten use out of your monsters, I go for the quick play personally. Next we have Lupus, K900 Lupus. An XYZ monster with this card as material gains the following effect. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. I love having Lupus on, where's it? Infinity, which you can do if you have Night out because it becomes a machine. You can only use the following effects of K900 Lupus once per turn. During the main phase, if your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, immediately after this effect resolves, XYZ summon using this card you control. So you can go into cards on their turn, which is pretty sick. One Power Bond. We're running it because it's easily searchable, and sometimes it's a good out for back row because we have this guy. So Power Bond, fusion summon one machine fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. It gains attack equal to its original attack. During the end phase of the turn this card is activated, you take damage equal to the amount of attack gained from this effect at the time of summon. So basically what it's saying is the monster's attack that it started with, like its original attack on the card. So if you summon this, you're going to take 21 at the end of the turn. Be aware of that. Cyber Emergency. This searches all the little cyber monsters. Add one light machine monster that cannot be normal summon set or one cyber dragon monster from your deck to your hand. If the activation of this card in its owner's possession was negated by your opponent's card effect and sent to your graveyard, you can discard one card, add this card to your hand. You can only activate one Cyber Emergency per turn. You will not use that second effect often, but it's there. One Cyber Rev System. Special summon one Cyber Dragon from your hand or deck. It cannot be destroyed by card effects. Sorry, hand or graveyard, not deck. If it was deck, that'd be broken. I wish it was. One Cyber Dragon from your hand or graveyard. One Triple Tactics talent. 3 Cyber Dark Realm. When this card is added, you can activate it. Sorry, when this card is activated, you can add one Cyber Dark monster from your deck to your hand with a different name from the cards in your graveyard. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one Cyber Dark monster. Lets you put bodies on the board, which is pretty fun. You can only use the previous effect of Cyber Dark Realm once per turn. If an equipped monster from your graveyard by the effect of we're never using that part. I'm not even going to read it. I forgot that even existed. You won't use this part of the card. 3 Clockwork Knight. All monsters on the field become machine monsters. All face-up monsters, that is. Machine monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Also, machine monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. So everything on your side is boosted and their side is lowered. You can banish this card from your graveyard, discard one card, add one Earth Machine monster from your deck to your hand. You won't use that effect. But this card's amazing because Cyber Dragon in anything means this guy. So anything that's a machine means this guy. So if you play this and you have this, you can make this using your opponent's board. And you're going to see me do that a lot in replays. And it's really funny. Most people only run one copy. I am running 2 because I really want to see this card. One a case for K9. When this card is activated, you can add one K9 monster from your deck to your hand. K9 monsters you control gain 900 attack during any turn in which your opponent has activated a monster effect or monster effect in the hand or graveyard. If this card of the spell and trap card zone is destroyed by a card effect, you can set one K9 quick play from your graveyard or deck. You can only use this effect of a case for K9 once per turn. You can only activate one a case per K9 per turn. One called by, one K9X force release. So during the main phase, target one K9 monster you control. Special summon from your extra deck a K9 monster with a different name. By using that monster you control, this is treated as an XYZ summon. Transfer its materials to the summoned monster. Then you can destroy one card your opponent controls. Pretty decent. So it basically lets you tag out from one K9 to another. That's how you get the level 9 on the board, or rank 9 rather. At the end of the battle phase, if your K9 monster battled this turn, you can set this card from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of K9X Force Release once per turn. Very good card for the deck because it recurs itself. You only need one. Brings us to the extra deck finally. Chimera Rampage Dragon. Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. 2+ Cyber Dragon monsters. So basically, at least 3 Cyber Dragons. You won't make this super often, but having Chimera on the field to be able to banish will let you make this a lot easier with Power Bond. So that's kind of why we run it, because we'll went through the small pieces, summon this, use effect to get this, and then summon this. It's kind of the chain you're going to do if you're going to summon this. When it's fusion summoned, you can target spells and traps on the field up to the number of materials used for its fusion summon and destroy them. Once per turn, you can send up to 2 light machine monsters from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, for each monster sent to the graveyard, this card gains 1 additional attack during the battle phase. So this with Power Bond is frightening because you can send 2, so it'll have 3 total attacks, and it can attack directly. So, well, it can attack directly if nothing's on the board, but it can attack multiple times directly. It doesn't have that on a monster restriction you see so often with this effect. So being able to attack up to 3 times with a 4200 attack monster of Power Bond, really good. Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon probably is what makes this deck so goofy and wonderful. If you have Clockwork Knight on the board, this is Cyber Dragon plus 1 or more plus machine monsters, and Clockwork Knight makes your opponent's board a machine monster. This is not just limited to using your board, because I'll just shut up and read it, honestly, but this card is amazing, and you'll see in the replays where I contact away my opponent's board all the time. Cannot be used as fusion material, must first be fusion summoned from your extra deck by sending the above cards from either field to the graveyard. Either field. The original attack of this card becomes 1,000 times the number of materials used for its summon. This is really funny because if your opponent has full board and you contact away full board plus core, it's a 5,000 attack monster, which is just hilarious. Love Fortress Dragon. Makes the deck amazing. Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon is 1 Cyber Dragon monster plus 1 or more monsters in the extra monster zone. So basically you can just contact your opponent's extra monster zone. It's the same as Fortress, except it's from the extra monster zone. The original attack of this card becomes 1,200 times the number of monsters used for its summon. So it's going to be 24. Part of me almost wants to take this out and run a 3rd Fortress, but I feel like it belongs, and I've actually used it quite a bit in my replays. Next, we have number 104 Masquerade. We're running K9. Most of the time, you're going to attach Masquerade using Nash Knight's effect, and then rank up off Nash Knight into CXYZ Nash Knight, and then from there, you go into the next card we have, which is 104C Umbral Horror, whose effect you'll actually use. When this card is special summoned, target 1 spell or trap on the field, destroy that target. If it has 104 Masquerade as material, it gains this effect once per turn. When a monster effect is activated on your opponent's field, you can detach material from this card, negate the activation. You can send 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, and if you do, halve your opponent's life points, huh? So you can negate an effect, rip a card from hand, halve their life points. Card is insane. It's so easy to get into because Nash Knight is just any 2 level 5s, which is your entire extra deck. Cyber Dragon Noga. Cyber Dragon Noga, like Toga. Now I'm imagining a lady wearing a toga that is Cyber Dragon themed. Maybe I'll like edit that into this tier list, but probably not. That would just be funny though. But Cyber Dragon Nova is 2 machine monsters, 2 level 5 machine monsters. You never really use the other effect. If for whatever reason this gets destroyed before you can summon Infinity off of it, you can special summon a machine monster from your extra deck, but the rest of the effect is you will literally never use it. It's pointless. I'm just gonna read Infinity real quick. So you can also XYZ summon this by using Nova as material and gains 200 attack for each material attached to it, and Nova's materials do transfer to this. So most of the time you're just summoning Nova to bring out Infinity. And then once per turn, you can target a face-up attack position monster on the field. I don't know why you would do it for your side, but if you do it to your opponents, it's very useful. Attach 1 monster to it as material. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So it's just a free Omni negate. Nash Knight, 2 level 5 monsters, can't be destroyed by battle when it has a number monster on it. Or sorry, while a number monster's on the field. That effect typically won't come up, but it's there. During the main phase, the effect you want, you can detach 2 materials from this card, attach 1 number XYZ monster from your extra deck. That is a number between 101 and 107, so you get Masquerade, so you can later get the big version of Masquerade. Then you can attach 1 face-up monster on the field to this card. So if your opponent has something annoying, you can attach that to it. CXYZ Nash Knight is what you go into off this. You can summon it by using Nash Knight and transferring its materials. It can't be destroyed by card effects. You detach 1 material, special summon from your extra deck, a number monster that has, well, that has a number between 101 and 107. Using this face-up card, it's treated as XYZ summon, and you transfer its materials to the summoned monster, but destroy it during your opponent's next in phase. You can only use the effect of this Nash Knight once per turn. So obviously you're going to summon Umbral off of it. Now you could actually do Giant Red Hand because it's just an option because it has a number monster attached to it. But I didn't want to do that because I rather run this card in the extra instead. But that's Nash Knight and Chaos Nash Knight. Imperial Princess Quinquery. 2 level 5 monsters. Detach 1 material from this card. Target 1 level 5 monster in either graveyard. Special summon it to either field. This was actually really fun to do with the artifact monster, but they banned that, so we can't really do that anymore. If a face-up level 5 monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field by an opponent's card effect while you control this monster, you can add to your hand or special summon 1 level 5 monster from your deck. You can only use each effect of Imperial Princess Quinquery once per turn. This is a very, very good card in the deck. Canine Ripper, you should know what this does by now, but I'll read it anyway. Detach 1 material from this card, add 1 canine card from your deck to your hand. Then if your opponent has activated a monster effect this turn, you can set 1 canine quick play spell from your deck or graveyard. When your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card and negate that effect. You can only use each effect of Canine 17 Ripper once per turn. Love this card. Some people even run 2 copies. Super good. K9 66X Jax, 2 level 5 monsters. Go figure, it's very easy to make in this deck. If this card is XYZ summoned, or if your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, you can detach 1 material from this card, target 1 monster in the field, destroy it. You can only use this effect of Canine Jax once per turn. A Canine XYZ that had this card as material gains the effect. During any turn in which your opponent has activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard, any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent is doubled. So that is what we would use to go into Werewolf off of that typically. So next we have Cyber Dragon Infinity. So Cyber Dragon Infinity is... Oh wait, we already did that. So that brings us to Werewolf. This card, while it has materials, it can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of materials attached to it. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, then activate the effect depending on whose turn it is. Yours, banish 1 card from your opponent's field and graveyard. Opponents, look at your opponent's hand and banish 1 card from it face up until the end phase. You can only use this effect of Canine X Werewolf once per turn. And then finally, Clockwork Knight. It's 1 non-link machine monster with 1,000 or less attack. You go into it off of any of the small cybers, pretty much. You can actually also go into it off Chimera if you're desperate. When it's link summoned, you can send a face-up continuous spell you control, like Realm. You can also do Case for Canine, but most of the time I just do Realm to the graveyard, and you can add a Clockwork Knight from your deck to your hand. So you can search that, which is really good. You can target 1 machine monster with 1,000 or less defense in your graveyard. Tribute 1 machine monster except this card, and if you do, special summon that monster in defense position. You can only use each effect of Clockwork Knight once per turn. And that is it for the profile part of this. Let's get into a few replays. I actually have quite a few replays. And I ended up beating like every deck in the meta with this. This one I was just lucky and I drew C right off the bat. But search core. So emergency, core, realm, worm, send hers, add emergency for next turn, hers, add Cyber Dragon, Jakul, Cyber Dragon, bam, 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 make Ripper, Ripper, and they're gonna negate the Ripper effect, so I'm just like, oh, foop. So I completely whiffed the talents, draw cards I can't activate, but that's okay. We go into Azuna. They do Canine things while we do Canine things, and then we activate Max C. So they're going to bring out Nash, and I'm like, I don't like that. And then they surrender, and I honestly was just going to go off at that point. Even if they took something, I had so many options. I would just go into Nash and then take their Nash, probably. Some of these replays, the deck actually goes off even better. So once again, I ripped the 1 Maxi. I'm going second. It's Mitsu, because of course it's Mitsu. At least we get Maxi. My opponent's going to regret their decision. So they summon that thing, the one that negates. They add that 1 annoying other negate card, and I'm just like, okay. Can I have that effect? And I'm like, I'll discard that. I don't really need everything too much. And bam! Your board is now my Cyber Dragon, and I'm going to use the rest of my engine to beat you. Oh, that's so fun. I love contact victories. Winning by shenanigans is always funny. And we get one Fluos at least, because we had two, so we got to chain one. It is really nice to go second and actually rip Fluos instead of drawing into it going first. Case for K9, they're going to harp. I basically just want them to do all their things now, so they waste their things, so that I can then play hers. Contact. I'm going to make Ripper so I can't be nibbed, and now I'm just going to make things. Bam. Bam. I don't care. The Galatena will not protect you. Bam. They're going to try to activate Symbol, so I'm just going to stop the Symbol so they can't, and bam, we win the game. Orcus is one of the best matchups you have, because even if you don't have Clockwork Knight, all their cards are machines. So this one's interesting. This was Novelles. Novelles with Megalith. Repap. Yeah, they're just doing their thing. It's like, okay. Okay. Just continue doing Mitsurugi things. Even on fast forward, your turn is 9,000 years. Ash that. They're gonna negate that. I basically wasted an Ash like an idiot. Okay, so Claw. They're gonna Ash it, and I'm just like, good, I wanted you to do that. Cyber Dragon, bam. Get rid of your mask so you can't use it. Play that, and then that's a great board you have there. And my opponent's like, yeah, I'm done. This one, you'll actually get to see me beating Vanquish Soul K9, which is pretty funny. And I think I'm going to call it for the replays on that after that. But you're going to see me destroy VSK9 with Cyber Dragons. Really going to negate that. I'm just like, okay, here's my K9 package. Thank you for the follow, Rick. There's going to be a community Discord at some point. So we just go into that, do our little K9 engine thing. They're going to Holy Sue here. I'm like, you're going to do that now? And I'm just going to Ripper you. I'm going to go into Nash. And then I'm going to do the Nash thing. I'm going to go into C Nash. And then I'm going to do the C Nash thing and go into Umbral. I popped my own K9, case for K9 stupidly. I should have left it there. That was a misplay. Because I already have release on the field. No reason to pop it. But they're going to go into things. And I'm just going to be like, oh, I'm going to XYZ on your turn. Jax, interrupt the Holly Sue. Get the Quinn Query. Summoning in an attack position for some reason. Should have been defense. Jax pop. The only thing they had left in hand was an Ash. And they summoned in and quit in frustration. And I was like, haha. But that is the Cyber Dragon K9 deck profile. Leave me a comment down below if you enjoyed it.